You all have better understand something, people. On this channel, we got the prophet, the psychic, the preacher, and the pastor. So y'all covered. We got all four. If you don't like the pastor, maybe you'll like the preacher. If you don't like the preacher, maybe you'll like the psychic. And if you don't like the psychic, maybe you'll like the pastor. Y'all covered, people. We good on this channel. Hello, everybody. This is the Magic Man, the tennis preacher, the prophet, the psychic, and the tennis pastor, coming back at you again with another video. I just made a video, people, where I was congratulating Djokovic and just talked a little bit about the great achievement and letting everybody know how huge the achievement of Djokovic breaking Federer's record at number one, 310 weeks at number one. Djokovic will have 311 tomorrow, actually today, but tomorrow they'll make it official. But people, I want to talk about, this is what I told you I was going to come up with a few videos talking about this, and I'm going to try not to make this video too long. People, it ain't, what made the Djokovic breaking Federer's number one record so huge? It ain't that he just did it, it's how he did it. The how, the when, and I don't know about the why, but the how and the when. You may say, Magic Man, what are you talking about? Number one is number one. No, it isn't. No. People, imagine this here. Imagine if Nadal was already retired and Nadal was number one 10, let's say in another era, and Nadal was number one back in the 90s, okay? Or early 2000s, okay? And let's say Federer was number one back in the 90s. Let's say that record that Federer had, that Federer got, 310 weeks at number one, and we can't take that away from Fed. That's super great. And you got to break that record first before you break Djokovic's record. That's funny how that works. That people people got to understand something. But let me stay on topic. Let me see. I was getting ready to go to something else that should be talking about in another video. Let me stick with what I'm saying, people. I'm getting excited. Okay, let's say if Federer was number one back in the 90s, 5 years at number one, 310 weeks at number one, back in the 90s, there would be a debate about who's the best number one. Like, there would be a debate, like, this is what people would say. They would say, well, if Federer was playing today, he would have stopped Djokovic from being number one. That would be a legit argument, but we know that ain't the case. Okay, y'all get what I'm saying? Now, let's say if Nadal was playing back in the early 2000s or 80s or 90s, people be like, and let's say Nadal was number one for 5 years or 7 years or whatever, people say, well, if Nadal was playing today, he would have stopped Djokovic from dominating the decade and becoming number one. But we saw that. Nadal couldn't stop him. Yeah, Nadal had success, but he couldn't stop it. So y'all see, people, it's how he did it. Djokovic got the number one spot back like 5 times. Djokovic, since 2011, Djokovic, the player of the decade. He, within 10 years, around approximately 10 years, Djokovic broke Federer's record of 310 weeks at number one with 2 of the greatest players that many people say are the GOAT, or one of them is the GOAT. Nadal fans say Nadal's the GOAT. Federer fans say Federer's the GOAT. And even other sports people and other tennis fans say one of those 2 guys is possibly the GOAT, or definitely of the GOAT conversation. And most of them say Federer's the GOAT. Okay, but so this guy Djokovic was able, y'all see what I'm getting at now? He was able to break the number one record in a decade where we got, without question, I'm not going to even say arguably, it ain't no arguably about Nadal and Federer being the top greatest. I mean, I'm saying, you don't have to say it's up for the debate. That's not up for the debate. Now, if you want to debate who's the ultimate GOAT, that's debatable. But it's no question, most people consider Nadal, Federer to be top greatest. Yet Djokovic If there's any doubt about this Djokovic #1 thing and how, I'm letting y'all know how huge this is. It's the how he did it in a decade when Nadal and Federer was playing well. Now, let me deal with that now, because I know what somebody going to say. Somebody going to jump in the comment section and say, well, Federer was, he was out of his prime. People, let me tell y'all something about that. That is bullshit. And I hope you two don't ban this thing. I just had to curse. Let me tell you, that's bullshit. Let me tell y'all why. People, listen. Even Federer will admit this. The Federer today, people, if you sent him back into a time machine, I made videos about this when I used to make a lot of Federer videos, and Federer fans loved it. People, the Federer today beat the Federer back then. If y'all don't, but the level of play is higher. Now, some people don't understand the way that works. If you don't understand the way that works, people, go watch a video of Federer playing Nadal in 2008, 2006, 2007. You'll be like, wow, they hit so slow. You people don't realize the level of play is so much higher now. People, if I sent Kyrgios back in a time machine to play Federer and Nadal back then, he would crush them because the level of play is higher. He won't be greater than them, but as far as level of play, the level of play of Nadal, and Nadal too, Nadal's level of play is higher than it was in 2008, 2009. Go back and watch the video. See how slow Nadal hit back then, and look how hard he hits now. Okay, so if people want to say, use that argument that if Federer was in his peak, he would have stopped Djokovic. No, he wouldn't. And people, let me tell you why. Because I've seen Federer in the 3 Wimbledons, and Federer fans know what I'm talking about. I've seen Federer in the 3 Wimbledons he played Djokovic in. People, in the first one, the one that was in 2015, if that was the one he played, and one of those around that time, Federer was the favorite, people. That means he was playing so well, and I don't think he gave up a set in the Wimbledon. His play looked better than when he was younger. And then Djokovic beat him. And people know the story. Djokovic beat Federer on grass when Federer was playing at high level. I don't care about this. Because these players today are able to play at a high level when they older, that doesn't give them an excuse. They can't use, well, if I was in my peak. I don't look at peak stuff. I look at the level. Now, let's say if Federer's level was old, say the last decade, and he looked like an old guy, and he was playing Djokovic like an old guy, then I could say that. Now, let's go to Nadal, because Nadal fans going to jump in there. Well, Nadal fans can't say that. You know why? Because Nadal was younger than Federer, so this is worse for Nadal. Djokovic was able to dominate the decade, dominate that #1 spot with Nadal in his peak. And he prevented Nadal from having his era, from having a Nadal era. Yet Djokovic, he made it his era. Y'all understand what I'm saying? It ain't just he just came #1. It's how he did it. He did it in the decade of the Federer and Nadal decade. Djokovic made it his decade, okay? And people, another thing about Djokovic is like this here. It's like he alone Federer his #1 car, and then when he gets ready to come back and get it, he grabs it. He alone Nadal his #1 car, let Nadal drive it around the block, think he gonna be #1. Now Djokovic come back and get it. I'm serious. People gonna have to understand this. I'm telling y'all, Djokovic take a rocket, a space shuttle to the moon, and then when he come back, he takes the #1 spot back. Djokovic get injured, he comes back, he takes the #1 spot back. People already putting people, this is not a statistic video I'm doing, because you guys got the stats. That's one thing I like about my subscribers. Y'all guys are stat people. People already saying, I didn't even mention this, Djokovic won just in the last, 2 years? He won 6 of the last 10 slams? Man, this Djokovic guy, he got a better head-to-head than Nadal and Federer. People, do I need to stop? This is how he did the #1. This Djokovic guy, I've seen Djokovic make Nadal get nervous and break a little bit. The Nadal fans know what I'm talking about. I've seen Djokovic make Federer, even more than Nadal, get nervous and break mentally. Do I need to keep going, people? Or do I need to end the video? It's how. What make this Djokovic achievement so great? It's how he did it. And people, Nadal won 10 majors in the last decade. Since 2011, I'm not counting 10, I'm counting 11 as beginning of the decade. Some people think it's 10, but I'm counting 11, okay? If you count 11, that's more. But Nadal, let's say since 11, Nadal, I'm using 11 because that's when Djokovic's #1 era started. Nadal has won 10 majors. So you may say, why are you saying that, tennis prophet? People, let me tell you why I'm saying that, people. Listen. Because there are Nadal fans that don't understand. And Federer fans, half of Nadal fans don't understand this. Some of them do. That's why Nadal fans and Federer fans, they getting quiet about this Djokovic thing. People, listen. The greater you talk about Nadal, say Nadal won 10 majors since 2011. People, that's super great. But Djokovic won 17, and he won 17 with Nadal winning 10. So you can't say Nadal wasn't playing well. See, somebody gonna say, well, Djokovic only was #1 for so long because Nadal wasn't playing well. He won 10 majors, so that means he was playing well. I know Nadal was injured here and there, but so was he injured for 10 years? Okay? And Federer went 6 years without winning a major. So if somebody said, well, Federer was out of his prime. Well, if he was so out of his prime, why did he come back in 2017 and 18 and win 4 more majors? Oh, so that means he could play well in his prime, huh? All right, yeah. Yeah, and also in that time of 2014, 15, 16, he was in the finals against that Djokovic. So if he made it to the finals and he was the favorite to win those majors, but that Djokovic got stopped him. Y'all see what I'm saying, people? So people cannot, he did it. It's how he did it. He did it with Federer and Nadal, who we consider to be arguably GOATs. Djokovic didn't let them stop. Djokovic didn't let Federer and Nadal stop him from breaking this record. It's the how. It ain't just what he did. It's the how and the when. Okay? Tennis preacher, the tennis prophet, and the tennis psychic. You all have better understand something about this channel, people. Y'all lucky. Y'all got all 4. 4-1, 1-4 on this channel, people. Y'all got the prophet, tennis prophet. You got the psychic, tennis psychic. You got the preacher, tennis preacher, and you got the prophet, tennis prophet. And for example, if you don't like the prophet, tennis prophet, maybe you would like the tennis psychic. If you don't like the analysis of the tennis psychic, maybe you would like the analysis of the tennis preacher. And if you don't like the analysis of the tennis preacher, maybe you like the analysis of the tennis prophet. I'm telling y'all, people, y'all good on this channel. We good. We got it covered in all ways. All right, people, tennis preacher, prophet, psychic. Sign it off. Have a good one.